freshly back from a vacation.
In an undisclosed location.
Yes.
Compliments of the
undisclosed agency.
Yes.
Us in the CIA. Can you imagine that? By the way, did you know CIA never, if you're really in the CIA, you're never the CIA. It's just CIA. They expect you to know.
Nice.
Because there's one scene in the show I work. The Jack Ryan movie with Dances with Wolves Boy.
Oh, that one.
And Wonder Woman's Love.
Yep.
Chris Pine and Danny DeVito. No.
Jessica Tandy. No.
No, Kevin Costner. There we go.
I prefer Jessica Tandy.
Don't I make growing old seem so fun? But he turns back and goes, I'm with the CIA. If he'd have really been with the CIA, he'd look back and goes, I'm CIA.
Correct.
Yep. Anyway, for that information and other such great stuff like that, you can, like, subscribe, and follow This Is Truly News like that. Well, not like that. You actually have to click something. A bell, a gong.
The bell. So that you're notified whenever we put up a new episode or a best of.
So like, subscribe, and follow us. We'd appreciate that. And so would their algorithms. And what algorithms have to do with it, I don't know. And why their parents named them Al, I have no idea.
I think it's short for albatross.
You can also leave us notes wherever you find us. And if you would like to send something, say a longer missive, a story, an exquisitely well-written question, comment, conundrum, or snark, TITR@netradio.net.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
Satellite imagery has showed that China's newest nuclear-powered attack submarine sank alongside a pier while under construction. Now, I do know that submarines do sink on purpose, but me thinks this was an unintentional sinking of the boat that sinks on purpose.
That must be frustrating.
And everyone's worried about the size of China's Navy. Well, it doesn't make any difference if they all just sink.
They look good in port, though.
The sinking of China's first Zhao-class submarine represents a setback for Beijing as it continues to build out the world's largest navy. Or I should say not, but but in Chinese, of course. Beijing has become increasingly assertive in pursuing its claim to virtually the entire South China Sea and nothing else except this land, which is crucial to international trade. Meanwhile, China faces long-time territorial disputes involving others in the region, including Brunei, Malaysia, the Philippines, Taiwan, and Vietnam. The United States has sought to strengthen ties to its allies in the region and regularly sails through those waters in operations, it says, maintains the freedom of navigation for vessels there, angering Beijing because they hate all the saluting. The submarine likely sank.
Sort of.
Submarine likely. Well, it is a type of salute, I suppose.
It is.
Submarine likely sank between May and June when satellite images showed cranes that would be necessary to lift it off the bottom of the river, said an official who spoke on condition of anonymity to provide details about the submarine loss. China's been building up its naval fleet at a breakneck pace. Now it's building up its naval fleet at a sink sub pace. And the U.S. considers China's rise.
How can you say rise in a story about a sunken sub?
Really? That seems odd. And the U.S. considers China's rise one of its main future security concerns. Not based on this story, I don't think.
There are reasons to worry about China, but apparently this submarine is not any of them.
Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said he was not familiar with the topic and did not provide any information when asked about it at a Beijing press conference. U.S. officials said it was not surprising that China's Navy would conceal it. No, not surprising at all.
We would too.
Oh, absolutely.
Any Navy worth its salt.
Would, worth its salt on the ocean seas, salt seas. Wow.
Shut up. Michelle sent me this. Remember, she sent me not beavers, otters.
Otters, yes.
The Angry Otter story. Boy,
Mm-hmm.
there's a video game in the making. Angry otters.
Not what.
And then later we have
Angry
Otters.
I told you to warn me when autos.
I never know. Yeah, the OTTO time.
Oh,
I told you, right? My daughter's name is Kara. If she would have been a boy, we'd named her Otto. Kara.
Otto.
Yeah. Named her Ottawa.
After Canada?
No, after Kara. Ottawa. A woman received more. Sorry, Michelle. I don't know where that one came from. He's just a bad influence.
I don't get it.
A woman.
Wow, I just got the look.
I need a raise. A woman received more wildlife visitors than she bargained for in Washington. According to NBC News, the woman, unnamed, was forced to call the police after her yard was swarmed by about 100 raccoons. Some carrying one signs saying, "Screw the otters." Per the outlet, police told KUSA that the woman from Holsbo, Washington, began feeding local raccoons 35 years ago, but had never experienced any issues until recently. Kitsap County Sheriff spokesperson Kevin McCarty said somehow the word got out among the raccoons and they all showed up at her house expecting a meal. So
it must have been at their annual convention that they talked about.
The raccoon convention. It's very popular.
Right near the Buffalo Lodge.
Bid for it. It's well, usually it's closer to the Otter Lodge.
Or the Inner, whichever.
Either one. One morning, the woman decided she better call 911 after the animals prevented her from even getting into her house. McCarty said that police were shocked by the sight. Shocked, I say. They said, never seen, quote, that many raccoons in one place.
You're not getting in till you produce the victuals.
Adding, nobody ever remembers being surrounded by a swarm of raccoons. It was a first.
Raccoon swarms are an oddity in the wild kingdom.
Maybe that's what sunk the Chinese sub.
Ooh, yes. They got to
They have raccoons?
Well, I'm sure they have river otters.
You know, the pretty kitty in the mask. The following Monday, the Kitsap County Sheriff shared a video on X featuring the brace of raccoons waiting to be fed. There's a brace of raccoons.
Why? What is a group of raccoons called?
I generally call them scary.
Rabid little omnivores.
I see one picture here. It's got probably half a dozen, closer to 10 raccoons.
Okay.
All looking for something. In the video, a large group of raccoons can be seen in a woodland area. Per the report in the video, the woman had to escape the creatures by running away in her car.
Why didn't she drive away?
I think she has a Flintstone car.
Much easier. It must be.
The woman said that the sudden increase in raccoons happened 6 weeks ago, adding the animals surrounded her during the day and at night looking for food. Oh, here's a picture of a whole mob of them. They even look unruly.
Oh.
They all look liberal.
Oh.
Give us handouts. According to the report, I know, I would have thought raccoons had been more conservative. What with, having to go through what's left over garbage, that's usually what conservatives get. According to the report, she's also been quoted prices as high as $500 per raccoon for the entrapment and relocation of the animals. What the hell? You're going to entice them with caviar?
Holy Pete. By the way, just so you know, the collective noun for raccoon
is
nursery or gaze, a gaze of raccoons. But people also use brace, smack.
A heroine of raccoons.
Committee, and troop.
Troop I could go with. They looked armed. Well, actually, they're all 4 legs, but they have.
Have you ever seen what happens when you leave cotton candy out for raccoons?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they immediately wash it, and then they stare at their hands like, "Where'd it go?"
What? It was right here. The Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife has been contacted by deputies to help find a solution. Hopefully less than $500 freaking dollars a raccoon.
Yeah. Wow.
Thanks, Michelle.
This from NBCnews.com via Ronnie Tucker. Dateline Seoul, South Korea. A North Korean defector living in South Korea was detained after ramming a stolen bus into a barricade on a bridge near the heavily militarized border in an apparent attempt to get back to the north.
I thought you were going to say future. I honestly did.
Non-App News Agency reported the incident took place about 1:30 in the morning at the Tongil Bridge in Paju, southwest of the capital, Seoul, after the man ignored warnings from soldiers guarding the bridge and attempted to drive through. The man, who was in his 30s, is in his 30s, and had defected more than a decade ago, told police he was trying to return to North Korea after struggling to settle in the South. You know, I just miss the parasites that lived on and in my body. I can't get them here.
I'm going home.
As of June, around 34,200 North Koreans had resettled in South Korea, mostly after arduous, sometimes life-threatening journeys, usually via China, to escape poverty and oppression at home, according to Seoul's Unification Ministry. But this guy said, I miss my poverty and oppression terribly, and the aforementioned parasites.
The malnutrition is just something to get used to.
The ministry, which handles cross-border affairs and provides resettlement support for defectors, said in 2022 that about 30 defectors were confirmed to have returned to the north since 2012. But defectors and activists say there could be more unreported cases. Yeah. Our Crack Titter News investigative team says they're checking on unconfirmed reports that the NBC newsroom burst out in applause and cheering when the story was first reported.
Oh, those have been confirmed.
Have they? Nice.
Then they called ABC so they could cheer, and CBS.
Yay!
The DNC. I'm torn. I'll do a short story because we're babbling so much anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
In North Wales, which I believe is in pretty average Britain, police are warning residents about a new strategy being used by burglars.
Are they? Is it pronounced buglers in Wales?
No, there's an R there.
Oh,
actually, it's pronounced burglar. It's probably pronounced because
it's Welsh after all.
Yeah. Saoirse Ronan was trying to do that on one of the talk shows to explain.
Yes, and her name has.
For one, if you see Saoirse, it looks more like Soares. Soares?
Yeah.
Soares?
Yeah.
Soares? Saoirse.
Yep.
She has great fun with that, though, I think. Anyway, North Wales Police, the new strategy, according to the Sky News report, criminals are leaving... Can't mess that one up. Are leaving Christmas gnomes in people's front yards.
Those bastards.
And then watch to see if the little figurines are moved. That way, they can tell whether or not residents are at home.
Ooh.
If they don't move, they're probably away, and the home is yield, as we say in the business, an easy target.
But what if they like it and just leave it there?
Then you get arrested.
Yeah, because as you come through the door, somebody's there ready for you.
We would advise it's Wales. Great Britain doesn't like guns. You'd have to beat them with a fry pan.
No. They could pray
after
for
watching
them.
The Expendables, Jet Li did okay with that. So
they could pray for them and probably still be June. Yeah, okay.
And end up in jail again.
They're big trouble.
According to a spokesperson for the cops, we would advise residents to be vigilant.
Be vigilant. Be vigilant.
Bevigilant. Be vigilant.
Vigilant.
This is why we weren't on any cheer teams.
Well, that we couldn't jump.
Freaking garden gnomes. Garden freaking gnomes. What if they put the gnome there and find it broken on the street in front of the house later?
Right?
Somebody's home and they're not happy with garden gnomes.
Either that or somebody attaches like a claymore mine to its chest. Yeah, go ahead. Stop in.
The Council of Garden Gnomes is saying this is purely made up. We think it's a stereotyping of garden gnomes, and we'll be taking them to The Hague.
Typical gnomism from the humans.
Garden gnomism.
Garden
gnomism. Gnomism? Sure.
And that's the worst kind.
It's right up there with I got nothing.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.